Hey everybody, I'm Shannon with American Mining Rights Association, and we're going to shoot a video for you today. We've actually been shooting in here for the last couple of days. It's a new claim we just picked up. You can see over the top of my shoulder here we've got our claim sign up, and we had our discovery actually months ago, but we're going to put up our post. And anyway, so this is going to be the newest claim called Yogi that's going to be for our members. I wanted to just briefly, before we get started here and show you some pretty cool video today, tell you a little bit about American Mining Rights. We're a nonprofit association that we do nothing but fight for the miners' rights. And you know, it's a tax-deductible donation, $200. You can become a member of AMRA, and you get a mine on our claims for an entire year. So we're picking up claims here. We're here in California right now, but we're going to be heading to Arizona here in the next couple of months and expanding down there. We're looking in Nevada and places of that nature. But you know, with what's going on in today's society and all the Obamacare thing going on, and the government just seems to be out of control as far as regulation goes, that's what we do, guys, is we fight for you. And the reason that we formed AMRA is because, like you, I got frustrated, and it's time that we fight back. That's what AMRA's about. So please check us out, AmericanMiningRights.com. We're also on Facebook under American Mining Rights, so check us out. But let's talk a little bit about what we're doing here. We've done quite a few videos on thinking outside the creek. Today we're actually going to be in the creek. We've got our other video that you probably see available right now, that we came down into this creek bed here, and there's a little waterfall section, and it created this big blowout and this big sandbar underneath there, or on the back side of it, and it was probably 6 feet tall from the bedrock where this blowout is, and it goes for about 25 feet. We did some test pans in here, and we just dug down about that far and panned it out, and that's what's on that other video. And heck, there was a piece of gold in there that was, it was so big that I was afraid that it wouldn't go through a 1/4-inch classifier. So we're not going to be classifying. Today, we're going to run this stuff. We're going to try to take out that entire sandbar and go run it. We've got our 3-inch Proline high banker up here. We're going to set that up stream just a ways. But we actually have to go in, and we're going to fill up these buckets, and we have to walk them up out of the creek bed, clear up to the road here. And it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a long, hard day. But, you know, that's what you got to do to get the gold. So, anyway, we're going to fire up here. We're going to cut a little trail. This is what we do for you guys too that join us. We try to cut these trails so you can walk through here. But anyway, we're going to get fired up. We'll go down here, and we're going to be here all day, and I know you're going to love this video. So we'll pick you up in a little bit. All right, so here's the update, guys. We spent it, what, even probably an hour and 15 minutes it took us. We cut a trail, even cut some steps in the steep part, cleared out the creek, so now we got a pretty easily walk, or an easy walk. So what we're going to have to do, guys, and you'll see it, we're going to take the camera, follow all the way down there. We'll speed it up. But what we'll end up doing is we're going to each carry 2 buckets. We're going to fill them about halfway full. So we're packing about maybe 70 pounds. That carrying 2 buckets will even you out when you walk up the trail as opposed to trying to lug one. Then we'll bring those buckets up here. We'll dump them into these. So these buckets will be completely full. We'll throw those in the truck, and then we're going to drive upstream a little ways where we're going to run the high banker, and you'll see that later. So let's get down there. We'll show you where we're working. right, so here we are down in our spot, and where Eden's standing, where he's filming, is about 4 feet higher than where I'm at. And that's all bedrock, and it comes busting through here. We've got kind of an inside bend, and we've got a big giant cedar. You can't see it off to your side here. And then there's a giant freaking oak tree that's down right up in here. And so when the water comes busting through here, it creates all that turbulence, and it's all mixed up. And then it hits this, and it crashes down this little waterfall right here. And I would imagine when we dig down, it's probably another couple of feet down to bedrock here. And then look at this. It creates this big blowout up here where all of this material gets deposited. You can see this little hole here. This is the hole that we dug in yesterday when we showed the other video that you saw, that we pulled out that decent sized piece of gold. So that was right on the surface, guys. So imagine what all of this is going to hold. So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to start right here. We're going to fill up the buckets. We're going to haul them up to the truck, dump those in the other buckets. Once we get about 20 of them, we'll hop in the truck, drive up to the high banker, and we'll run that. The thing that I want to point out here is, if you guys want to get really, really good gold like we do, is this is what it takes. Just because you don't have water here in your source doesn't mean you can't come in and spend a couple of days working and get a lot of gold. I have a feeling we're going to do real, real well in here. And anyway, so we're going to shut down here for a while. We'll dig, and we'll give you a progression about how much of this material we run. But this video may take about 3 days, because that's probably about what we figure it's going to take to dig out this whole bank. And we're going to strip this down to bedrock and clean out every single crook and cranny in this thing. So anyway, come on, Eden, let's go to work. So here we are up at the top of the claim, and we got our 3-inch pro line going, and as you can see, we brought what we think is pretty close to 1,200 pounds of material, and most of it's pretty small. So anyway, we're gonna run this stuff out, grab some lunch, we'll see what we got. So we'll pick you up in a sec. getting towards the end of the day here. We've hauled up, we've made, what, 20 trips apiece. And with about 80 pounds each time. So you could do the math on that. We think we've hauled over, when it's all said and done, over a ton of material. And where this little waterfall comes down here, it's not really a waterfall, it's just a jumble of bedrock. We dug this out because it cut back underneath here. And I'll give you an idea. That's how far back she goes. So we dug that out, and we did a little test after we ran the high banker just in the upper matting. And there was gold in there, but we didn't see a whole lot. So we kind of started focusing back over here, and I'm going to walk there in a sec, to where when we did the test pan yesterday, where it had the big chunk of gold and a lot of other little pickers in it. So we've come back up here and we've excavated this. And so here's what we found out of why this big sandbar is here. This is a piece of bedrock, or it's a giant boulder that's sitting on top of bedrock. And right here, that's decomposed bedrock. So we've cleaned this out. We've taken out, I don't know, probably 15, 20 buckets just in this area alone. And we're going to haul this out. This is our last buckets. We're going to go run that in the high banker. But I wanted to explain this so you guys can kind of understand, and it really starts to make sense. The water comes busting through here around this inside bend, and it hits all this jumble of broken up and chunks of bedrock, and then it kind of cascades a little bit down here, hits this wall of bedrock because it pinches right here, and then it kicks and throws all this material up just because of the force of the water, and it deposits this in here. So even when this little tiny creek is flowing really, really well, I think that if there was gold flowing down through here, it's going to hit that turbulence, and because the water gets bounced on both sides so much, the gold starts to settle. So when it comes up to this point, the water is actually going quite a bit slower and the gold drops. So that's why we think underneath this, if it's bedrock, there's a big crack here we've cleaned out. We think that's going to hold really good stuff. So anyway, let's head back up to the high banker. We'll run this, we'll clean it out, and we'll show you what we got. Let's go up. So we've taken all these concentrates. We're afraid we're going to run out of light, so we're trying to pan this out for you guys and take it down. There's a lot of black sand in here. You know, we mentioned that how much material we carried out of that creek bed, and I was mistaken. We carried 40 buckets out of there each time, because what we figured out is it's about probably 2,600 pounds of material, so over a ton. But with that, you know, you'd think you could get good results. So we'll see. You know, you have good days and bad days. You know, I think what we'll do with this is we'll test the richness of this black sand. So we'll keep what's inside the tub here, and we'll take it back to the shop and we'll dry that out. And what we do is we take an ounce of that super dry black sand and then we pulverize it. We grind it up until it's just like a 500 mesh. And with an ounce of that stuff, then you take and you actually weigh the gold that's inside the black sand, because black sand kind of acts like a popcorn kernel. And it's got a lot of iron properties in it. And it'll encapsulate the gold. And so what you need to do is break open that capsule to get the gold out of there. And by grinding it up, you can actually do the math on it and determine how much gold that you'll get, you know, per pound of black sand. We did that back at the shop. We've got about probably close to 600 pounds of black sand over there that we've been collecting over the years. And we did that grind and that test, and it came back pretty rich. So anyway, you might always save your black sand. Well, we didn't get rich today, but there's some nice stuff in here. Nothing as big as we got the other day, but you know, it's some pretty decent gold. I'm a little bit disappointed we ran that much material and didn't get that much. You know, sometimes it's just like that. Maybe there was just one freak piece of gold that shot up there. Never know. But we'll keep working it, we'll keep trying, and we'll keep shooting videos for you guys. You know, I wanted to ask you a question. Are you sick of the government and the regulations? Are you sick of them telling you you can't do this? Are you sick of you can't go out and work your claim? You can't run a water pump? If that's the case, then join us. Join AMRA. That's what we're about. We're sick of it too. That's why we're fighting for you. So come check us out on AmericanMiningRights.com. We'll fight for you. We'll see you next time.